Hi, I'm Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is 11 reasons I'm happier than you are. First is, I'm not married. Being married is very difficult to be happy. I can't recommend it, even though I do know men who are married who are happy. My dad was happy. I've got a good friend who's happy being married. The trick with being married is you got to be married to the right woman and a good woman. And it seems much more difficult than you'd think to find that. So I'm not saying you can't be happy when you're married. I'm just saying it's simpler and easier to be happy when you're single, or at least escaped and divorced. The second reason I'm happier than you are my kids are grown. They're both, my daughter's going to be 20, my son's 23. So when they're growing up like that, they don't need that constant care that children require when they're small. With the babies, that's a lot of work. Even as children, you always got to worry about them. I mean, certainly I do worry about them now, but for the most part, they just handle their own lives, and I feel good that they do that. And I had some ways to help them figure out their own lives and do their own thing and be responsible. So that's very critical for you as a man to not have to take care of small children. You're not going to have much of a life if you spend all your time taking care of your young ones. That's what you need the mother of your kids, your wife, to do. But if she doesn't do that, then you have to do it. And that's what you see so many young men nowadays spending excessive amounts of their time and energy taking care of kids. And if you're doing that, you're not going to be able to improve your own life or the world at large, because you won't be that great at doing your job because you're too much energy with your kids. The kids need to be taken care of by mothers, and they need to kind of take care of themselves. So, once your kids are grown, that stuff starts to fade away, and you don't have that huge energy sink. Now, of course, if you're unlucky, the kids, maybe they've got something wrong with them and they can't really take care of themselves when they're grown. Well, yeah, that's pretty bad. You're never going to have that great of a life if you have to take care of your adult kids too much. Certainly you can lend a hand and do things for them from time to time, but, from a day-to-day basis, it's going to be pretty hard to have a great life. The third reason, I don't live with a woman. I like living alone. Now I do live with one woman, my daughter, but we're more like roommates, and I pay the bulk of the bills because she's still in college. But what I mean is like a woman, like your lover, like a girlfriend that you share a bed with. So that I don't like to do that either. No, I know a lot of people do that, and it seems like the thing to do because she's right there. It's easy for sex. You can share the bills. You don't have to drive to her place. She doesn't have to drive to you. You'd think it'd be a time saver, but you'll find that it takes up all your time. Fourth reason, I have a high income. I guess a high income relative to my expenses. I mean, it's not excessively high. It is over that $75,000 mark a year. That's critical for your happiness. Anything less than that, it's going to be really hard to have a good life. You need a big income or excessively low expenses, and expenses are hard to control. No matter what you do, people are going to expect that you pay them for whatever you're doing. The fifth reason, I take the absurd side, and I'm always looking for the humor. It's a lot. Life can be pretty funny if you just always look at things the opposite. And most people are kind of humorless. A lot of girls don't have much of a sense of humor. A lot of guys don't either. That's a big problem. Everybody's kind of humorless. But I think if you just start looking at things on the funny side and just look at the opposite of the way people say things, you'll find that things are a lot funnier. Sixth reason, I don't watch the news. Oh, I hate watching the people, either the men or the women newscasters, either local or the national. I've always despised people like that. For some reason, I just can't. I never trust them. I think that's all just regurgitated stuff. And I do tend to maybe read. I read online and I'll watch videos online, but all the news that I get online, I'll gravitate toward how my worldview, and I don't listen to the worldview that the mainstream is telling me I have to listen to. I go for my view. So I don't watch the news. On the 7th, I don't care about politics. I just laugh at all that. I take the absurd side. Everything to me is like a dog and a pony show. It's all about a beauty contest. And then when you vote, it's usually who's going to win is whoever people hate the least. And the looks of the politician are going to what's matter the most, and the policies aren't going to matter that much. So I avoid the politics. Yeah, I do read a little bit here and there, on the news, online news of the views that I have. You see, so those views are reinforcing my views, but I still don't get all worked up about it. What else? I take care of myself. That's the 8th thing. You're not going to have a very good life. You're not going to be happy if you're not taking care of yourself. When I need to sleep more, I do. When I need a nap, I take a nap. I go to bed early. I'll sleep in when I have time. I'll take naps. I'll even take a nap at work once in a while if I need it. There's a lot of health supplements that I'm taking, various vitamins, various other supplements that seem to work good for me. I talk at length on some of my other videos on the weight training and doing enough weight training that I feel good and not get injured. So I don't get sick that much. I mean, I do get sick from time to time, and when I do, I certainly rest until I feel well again. The 9th reason that I'm happier than you is I can quit. I quit a bad marriage. I've quit various jobs. I've quit various bills and quit paying them and figured out a way not to pay them. I've quit all kinds of bad things for me. I quit thinking badly about myself. I quit a bad marriage. I've learned how to quit. I quit basketball back in high school, and that was a huge step in the right direction for me in learning how to quit. 10th reason, I keep moving toward a happier life. Yeah, I keep making lists, and I keep figuring out, what should I be doing today, tomorrow, next year, next week, next month. I write lists. What do I want to do? I keep moving toward that. The 11th reason, I tend not to believe the latest and make my own decisions. The latest, there'll always be some latest fad in the news about what's healthy for us and what isn't, and what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. Well, I don't really care for all that. I prefer to find out what's good for me and do that, and think about how I want to live my life and do that, not be told how to live and how to think and how to be and how to do. I had that with my wife. She was always telling me what to do, what to think, how to be. So that's no way to live. You're never going to be happier if you got somebody telling you what to do all the time. And you don't have to do that, with all the mainstream. It's kind of comical that when you look at it, all the mainstream news is usually based around, it's really advertising for something else, whatever the most popular thing is. Vegan, low emissions, carbon free, gluten free, everything, so it's the next manufacturer is trying to push their product on us, so they have to spin it as if it's important that we do what they say to do. So give those ideas some thought, and I'm certainly much happier than you are.